come on, Pika. You know I hate to count. I hate math. I hate school. I hate homework. Hi, everybody. Busted out this old one, the Star Wars veteran t-shirt. I'm a Star Wars veteran, and I lost the Star Wars, too. I'm just going right into it. Sorry. Welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. And it's new release day, too, because this matters into new release day, because we're talking about comic books. We're talking not just about comic books, but about new release comics that I bought on Wednesday. This very Wednesday from my local comic book shop with my very own hard-earned money and my disposable budget. You know what I mean? I can spend some money on recreational stuff, and my recreation is my hobby, comic books. And I'm also making a point to buy my supplies at my local comic book shop, usually during the week. This is about reboarding, rebagging, and reboxing my entire comic book collection. It's about 20 years, maybe about 8 long boxes worth of different publications, about 20 years worth of Wednesdays. Ain't that cute? Ain't that wonderful? I like that. So I'm getting my new releases every Wednesday, and then we do a review show on Sundays. I like that. Indeed, I want to figure out where my mouse is. Okay. We're going to have to do some counting, Pika. I want to close that and not fall down any rabbit holes, open rabbit holes by, links after links after links. I get so distracted, like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, shiny, as Buffy the Vampire Slayer would say. Oh. Is it wrong to identify with a petite, superpowered girl? A high school girl? I'm a 50-year-old man. I just don't accept those notions. I'm not going to agree to that. If you want to believe that kind of stuff, man, those are your beliefs. And, but it is new released Sunday, where we take the ubiquitous flat bag of funnies. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? Oh my goodness. Well, to be honest, in the spirit of recycling, I'm bringing the bags with me, but this one's got to get retired. You know what I mean? I don't think it's got one more trip left in it. Actually, due to this corner here, I got to rub on my corners when I put this flat bag in my backpack and all the motion. So I'm like, I gave myself some dings. Live and learn, kid. Live and learn. That's right. But we got new Funnybooks today, too. And, but I wanted to spend some time talking about one of my first loves of my life. Not bath time, no. Actually, I used to have a little duck puppet, like a little hand puppet. It was yellow, and it had, he had an orange beak, and it had 2 hands that, you could put your fingers into, so it was like a hand puppet, like that. Or you can go like this, actually, more like it, because you can put your finger, support his neck, and you go like, and his name was Ducky. So I've always had some kind of weird yellow stuffed animal with me. It's nice. I mean, actually, he's been around for like 25 years anyway. So, I had a previous Pikachu. I got it from FEO Schwartz. You can put batteries in it, and you can squeeze his hands, and his cheeks light up, and it had a soundtrack in there, on a piece of tape or something, and it was the actual, trademark Pikachu voice, saying Pikachu things, which is obviously different variants of his name, or saying Pika, and then Angry Chew, something like that. But yeah, I don't know, where did we get you? Because I remember I ordered you through the mail. You too, Canadian Bear. And but yeah, Star Wars comic books. I wanted to talk a bit about Star Wars comic book because it's in the show notes. Pika makes show notes. Pika is the executive producer. He makes show notes. He also pays the bills. Make sure we get our craft services table that doesn't have anything with donuts on it. I'm the talent, and I'm really, he takes out all the red M&Ms out of the bowl of M&Ms, okay? And but just how many Star Wars between Marvel and Dark Horse, which are publishing too? I mean, how many Star Wars comic books are there being published in a month or so? I looked at it. 1 month it was about 14 just from Marvel, and I don't think it's that many. But we're gonna go down a list. I found it's from Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is StarWars.fandom.com, and it's the Star Wars wiki. Like it or not, if they say it, they have to include. I think they have to be fair to Disney canon, which is the prevalent owners canon, and then have Legends, EU, KOTOR, and Knights of the Old Republic stuff. They have to respect High Republic. I don't care. I don't have any skin in that game. I'm just an old Star Wars veteran. It's my time to hand it over. Let the youngins fight. Yeah, I just went and grabbed these off my spinner rack. These are just some Marvel Star Wars comic books I grew up with. Yeah, these are copies I've gotten recently. I'm trying to decorate my. Oh, look at this Simonson art, huh? Isn't this wonderful? And I'm a sucker for this Win a Columbia 10-speed banner ad in the first place. So, yeah, just ain't that cool? And this is around, of course, this is 1981, so this is just right in I'm 8 going on 9. So that's where I am as a small child, as a Star Wars fan, full of action figures, and vehicle sets, Star Wars comics, and the paperbacks. With Splinter of the Mind's Eye, too. I had a copy of Splinter of the Mind's Eye, and also the Jedi Master's Quiz book by, what's his name? Rusty. Oh, gosh, I have to figure that out. It came out before Return of the Jedi, and it was a Scholastic book, but it was a kid just a year or two older than me. Made this comprehensive Star Wars trivia book. I love this cover! I love these comic books. So I'm a huge old school Star Wars Marvel Comics fan. So, yeah, huh? Yeah, here's a few. And backing them up is this one. This is a new Star Wars, Marvel Star Wars book. So Marvel Star Wars got the license back from Dark Horse, and started producing Star Wars comics in 2015. With a brand new fresh slate for canon and writing canon, with the Disney, sequestering expanded universe into its own thing. But coming back to the show notes in my original question, how many Star Wars comic books are being released a month? So when I was a kid, we had one. Just the one Star Wars comic book. And we were lucky for it, too! You snot-nosed, ungrateful... No, I'm just being... Insert old man shaking fist at cloud meme here. Please. I'm not getting into any of that stuff right now. I'm getting into... because I want to be buying Star Wars comic books. I don't want to have this kind of thing like this... Oh, the treatment of Gina Carano wasn't actually cool. For me, in the middle. Okay, I'm in the middle. That was just so unnecessary. Oh, man, it's just, what a distraction. What constitutes statements, public statements, and by the talent and by executives that disparages the brand to get people to stop buying? What is exactly, what is a violation of a non-disparaging agreement in any of these contracts that any of these executives and the talent, signs off on when they agree to being part of the contract, part of the show, or being an artist or a writer of this licensed kind of property, because they're all in there too. They're non-disparaging agreements. They're part and parcel with modern contracts. Don't say anything to disparage the brand, to bring down potential sales of this product. Don't do it. I can see that, saying polarizing things for any side should be considered that, sheesh. I consider, being group blocked on Twitter, to be that too. I mean, that disparages the product. So like Donnie Cates, Greg Pak, Alyssa Wong, Becky Cloonan, Dan Slott. I mean, hey, if I wasn't a Yahtzee, I wouldn't have been blocked. What? No, F you. Sorry. You're disparaging the brand and the product. With that, I can't buy your stuff. I'm not going to buy that. And I will look those publishers in the face and say, due to the talent of, a judgmental behavior of excluding, but doing this to me, I'm specifically not going to buy your product. You know what I mean? Or their contribution to the product. I don't want to be that guy that there are more Marvel and DC creators who have not blocked me on Twitter. And that's where I need, and it's a good spiritual exercise to not give a shit about that. Just don't buy their stuff. Stop being angry about it. You've been angry about it. Let it go. But just don't buy their stuff. Don't take their shit, and don't buy their shit either. Seriously, don't give your money to people that hate you. With that said, I want to be buying Star Wars comic books. I want to. I just don't like the direction of the new canon. I think it's a lot of these are just badly executed, and there's too much. Think about it. Like the average price of these periodicals is $3.99. And these one shots, and they could be between $3 and $4.99. I'm not going to look up every single one of these. I'm just going to read off. This is from the wiki. This is from StarWarsFandom.com/wiki. It's called List of Future Comics. This is great. I like this resource because I wanted to count how many Star Wars comic books were on a shelf. I went to my secondary LCS. I'm talking to the guy in the comic book guy about it too. And I'm like, dude, is there 11, 12 different Star Wars comics? And then he pointed out the 2 Dark Horse comics I forgot about. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding? And so it just appeared that I think there were 14 Star Wars titles just that 1 month. A couple of months ago. I think it's a little bit less now, but it's still in that ballpark figure. So we're going to count them in a way. Okay. We got it. We're going to, like I told you, you warned me, Pika. There'll be math involved. So we did a little research before the show. I counted 9 titles on Marvel.com's page coming up this month of new releases. I counted 2 from Dark Horse. So I came up with 11. Now I'm going to check out this wiki here and compare that. All right, are you with me? Thank you very much. And please like and subscribe if you could be so kind. Smash that like button. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell. Thank you very much. We got Bounty Hunt, Star Wars Bounty Hunters. Okay, that's issues 36, 37, 38. Bounty Hunters. Dark Droids. Ooh. Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red. But that's a one shot. Well, it's an anthology, so it's 4 issues long. So it's gonna make a nice trade. And we're gonna see that a little later. Spoilers: we saw issue 1 in my spinner rack collection, but we're gonna see issue 3 a little later today. We've got Darth Vader, Dr. Aphra, Hyperspace Stories. That's DK. DH, Dark Horse. Hyperspace Stories. Okay, Obi-Wan issue number 1 coming out on September 13th. That's good to know. Return of the Jedi Max Rebo, which is that might be a one-shot. Return of the Jedi The Rebellion issue number 1. That looks like a one-shot. Then there's the Star Wars 2020 title, which is a new issue 1 that's separate from the old Star Wars 2015 volume. So now you're on your second volume of Star Wars Prima Firma. Prima Terra? What? Shut up, Eric. Yeah, so hold on. Oh, jeez. Okay, we've got Bounty Hunters, Dark Droids, Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red, Darth Vader, Dr. Aphra, Obi-Wan, Return of the Jedi. Okay, so Star Wars. Thank you. And we got The Mandalorian. We've got Yoda. And we should have the High Republic issues here. It just shows trade paperbacks, but there are a couple of issues of Star Wars The High Republic, and that's on Dark Horse. So yeah, we were right. We got 11 and 2. So no. So that was Marvel has 11 different Star Wars titles. And this isn't just in 1 month though. It's just it's going to fluctuate with the one shots, and those come and those go. That hence one shot. But yeah, so just on these list of future comics, I'm going to count the Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures from Dark Horse, because that's being released like this week, like next week. Like if you remember on Wednesday when we went through the menu, I was like, Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures from Dark Horse is releasing 3 issues in 1 week. Maybe they got backed up or something, or like I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask someone. Be like, but there is the High Republic Adventures trade paperbacks coming out as well. So let's just I'm gonna say 2. So there's 13 different Star Wars titles. Like average. So let's say there's an average of 13 Star Wars titles a month. Damn. And they're all at some kind of between $3 and $4.99, huh? Well, let's get to it. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? We're gonna need some theme music for that, huh? Or maybe a segue animation, or we're gonna have no, we're lo-fi charm. You're lucky I put on socks. I didn't put on socks. No. Really got to toe up on that. Oh no! Enough with your pun, Sully. But yeah, that's a nice web. Thank you, website. I appreciate you, Wiki. Let's get to it. It's time for new releases. What did I buy this week? I bought 8 things off the shelf. A couple of them were not new releases per se, but we'll get there. We're actually going to lead off with that. No, we're not. We're going to actually do the worst first. All right. Ooh. Well, are you bad? Please sort this stuff before. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to put you at the end because you're awesome. There we go. Leading off. Okay. It wasn't that terrible. I'm glad that I take chances on indie comics, Scout Comics. I'm buying a few different things, like Count Dante and Oswald and the Star Chaser, in the name 2. So this is, another Scout comic I picked up. Yep, it's for $4.99. Here we are. See, and through that 5 bar, you see, this is the first printing, and it's the only cover. It's a variant cover. It's the first cover, so it's not a variant cover, and yeah, teen plus, whatever that means. But I'm just saying I'm kind of, I'm just decent open. It's just okay. Hi, welcome to Scout. The planet Jupiter ignited about, combusted about 1,400 years ago. So kind of everyone's underground on Earth. And this has nothing to do with the Hugh Howey books of the Silo series. One of his is named Dust, and it is about people who live underground too. So, I mean, I hope, I got this strictly because of the cover and the write up, and I'm like, okay, I'll take a chance on that. I took a chance. I find that the digital art is just, yeah, it's just art. It's just, look at that, look at that repeating pattern there. That's not art. That's not someone drawing something. Someone pointed it out to me that the vocabulary I'm looking for a lot of the times is something called organic line. It's just the way the hand would quaver or waver, or how much pressure you're putting on your pen, brush, or pencil, and it gives it that organic quality, not the highly polished, perfect lines of a computer. But I mean, this is a great example. This panel right here, this it being in the field here. There's just like and so it's onomatopoeia. It's cut and paste. It's this cut. It's just, this isn't. I mean, it's just somebody kind of drew that. And I don't want to be insulting and saying, like, well, this isn't art. Of course it's art. But, I mean, and these, remember, these are out on planet side, so everything's bright here. But we take this whole theme of darkness. I mean, for the rest of we get mugged. We get our eyes mugged for the rest of this issue. The Echo, 300 miles below the Earth. So now we got elements of Silo and elements of the Matrix. And because people are forced to live underground, humans, and but I mean, here it is, night and day. It's perpetual night underground, yeah. And it's dusty. It's a desert up top. So here's our color palette, and for everything underground is in these muted tones, and you get faces without cross hatching. There's less. It's like, look at that. I'm just like, it's all, you see that shadow there? It's just like, it doesn't feel like it's, I don't know. It's just like, these faces look fine. But, I mean, there are wrinkles in the eyes and a little bit of definition in the nose, like for a hatching. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like hatchings and cross hatchings that give form, gravity, and roundness, and because but that's all dependent on the light source. I mean, I'm once again, so it's like I'm paying $4.99 for a web comic. I mean, I don't like that idea, but look at just like, oh man, everything's just so dreary. I mean, I'd rather not spend my off time in this world. I went through it. I breezed through it, and I don't. Yeah, thanks. It's going. Yeah. Next, please. We've got issue number 2 of Storm. We have. Yes, I want to buy Marvel comics. I mean, I can't. Should I be making Marvel suffer because of Slott and Cates and Wong and Pack? You know what I mean? No. Well, Annie Nocenti has not blocked me on Twitter. Thank God. Thank you, Annie Nocenti. You're awesome. And this is great because Annie Nocenti was the editor of Uncanny X-Men in the mid to late 80s. Nobody knows these voices, these characters, like Annie Nocenti. You get these I've been jonesing for some typicity. You can't say the word normal without triggering the abnormal. Fine. Okay, I get that. Sorry if you're triggered. I mean, I have triggers. I'm not messing. Seriously. And leave me out of that. But this is a typical X-Men scene. I am not thrilled with this art whatsoever. But, I mean, look at that onomatopoeia. Does that look cut and paste to you? Or does that look like it was hand-drawn? Does that have organic line to you? I mean, it's okay. But it's like, this isn't, And then she falls in love with someone that looks like Sting. Okay? And there's the clue right there is synchronicity. Right. This guy looks like Sting, and because this is set kind of in a mythical kind of 1980s ish, in early 1980s. This is supposed to be in the age of new wave. So there shouldn't be any like cell phones around in this, or hey, look at this computer. That's Kitty Pryde. She went and got a tattoo with Rogue, and to be rebellious. But yeah, look at that. Look at Kitty's computer there. I mean, ancient. Yeah. So this is set in some kind of past, and then shows up Mystique, and really not my favorite. Yeah. Art in here. I don't know if I'm going to get the next one, but okay, this is like, I hate thinking like too ultra kind of like reality intersecting into real life, like, oh well, that doesn't look like hey, this 90-pound girl just beat up that 300-pound man. It's a power fantasy. It's fiction. I mean, I'm not really worried about that. But Storm would have broken her hand on Logan's dumb adamantium head. Yeah, totally. Would have broke her hand. I'm sorry. Just not by. And the art, I don't think I'm gonna continue this unless it's like only got. I'll see how many issues are left of it. Congratulations to Ariana Maher. Maher, the VC's Ariana Maher here, the letterer. You look a lot like Tom Orachowski here. I really like that a lot. And as in that, this is really good. It's going to be filed with my X-Men 170, Uncanny X-Men 170, because it's set right after that. And it's we'll see if I'm coming back for that or not. Now, this came out this week, but this has been sold out, and they got like 4 issues of issue 3 to back up behind the new release issue 4. And I'm happy I got to, make up for that issue. I'm loving this. I'm really having a good time. Look at this Stan Sakai art, this wraparound cover. That's great. There are also some Kevin Eastman covers too. But I'm lucky to get what I get. You know what I mean? These variants are there if they're there. This is fun. They say Cowabunga. They have, they're like a different turtles for different eras. Like, so I'm of 2 eras of turtles, and primarily the first era. So if they have I wonder if IDW has one of these turtle crossover issues that has the red. I think it's the Batman. One of the Batman crossovers. They all wear red, which is the most ancient form of turtle we can get. And you know them from their weapons and their voice. This is really fun. Putting the fun back into funny books. I hope IDW can keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to see these publishers fail. Well, some people in the sphere, of course, but I think that's maybe just bluster and bravado. I mean, unless they really mean that. But if you really mean that, then that's your karma. And you've got it coming if it happens to you, and someone's going to cheer your downfall, and blah, blah, woof, woof, and yakety schmackety. And why don't you, straighten out and flying there? They're waggling. What? They're waggling? Indeed. Alrighty. Action. We've got Action 1056. I've been tuned into this. Worst things first, I totally skipped over the... Look at this terrible art. I mean, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so awful. To be continued in Steelworks, which Steelworks came out 3 weeks ago. Well, that's okay. But oh my gosh, this art is terrible. But I'm like, I'm not trying to bag on. Oh my gosh. yeah, I mean, just I'm like, I hope I'm not like marginalizing. Anyway, we got Dorado Quick, and the artist is Yasmin Flores Montañez. So yeah, this is just, this. But that is the future of comics right here. This is the future of comics. I'm holding it right here. Digital art. We are paying $4.99 and wasting trees and precious resources. I mean, these deserve to be online and be read online and stay online. You don't need to be printing these things. You can, I mean, it's nice that we have backup tales in these thick magazines, justifying their dollar moreness, and also continuing the tradition of Action Comics always having a backup feature or two. I mean, that's what makes it Action Comics. It's always been, that's the big magazine. Detective Comics just as well as the Batman version. And here we come full circle with Star Wars. And I got issue 3 of Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red. See, I want to be buying Star Wars stuff. I don't want to have this pissy attitude of, so I'm really selective of what I invest my time and money into. So I like original trilogy stuff. I like prequel trilogy stuff. Okay, that's my golden zone. I mean, I have a canon I respect. It's the 6 movies and their novelizations, their screenplays, the radio dramatizations, and I'll even throw the holiday special in there too because it was made then. The Rinsler books, I've got 4 of them. Just like The Secret History of Star Wars is a great book, and here's an ad for one of those Star Wars books. But yeah, they're just like churning out Star Wars stuff. So this is one of the 13 Star Wars titles that's available. This one costs $4.99. This is an anthology. It's only running 4 issues. It's going to be a really nice trade. It's written for the trade, of course, but it's just simple. It's black and white art with red coloring. But what got me, I didn't get issue 2 because none of the artists, inspired me to want to get it. It's fine. I got the first issue had Peach Momoko art in the story. She wrote and drew that. It was amazing. And it was really artsy and it was out there. It was trippy, And then there was a Klaus Janson drawn one, which was interesting too. So I got it for the artists. So I basically, got it for these two for Daniel Warren Johnson and for Mark Bernardin. Mark Bernardin is the other half of Fat Man Beyond. That's Kevin Smith's podcast. Those guys kept me company through lockdown. They showed up to work in the empty cantina with respecting social distancing and just doing but they showed up and tried to continue this geeky conversation and keep it going. I mean, I really respect that. He's an accomplished sci-fi writer too. But this Daniel Warren Johnson art is just amazing. I love it. It's cartoony. It's chock full of action. It's roughly hewn. But behold the power of black, white, and red. The Imperial fleet comes in, and only one ship comes out. It's Vader's advanced X1. And this is just a really awesome, dogfight. And then it goes on the ground with the survivors. Now, and then the Mark Bernardin issue. I don't want to spoil anything about. Here's the other one. I like Vader's voice is in the black voice bubble there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh my goodness. I love this. I love the simplicity of this black and white art. Hey, look, there we go. Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel. Yep, here we go. It's like a NASCAR. Star Wars has turned into a NASCAR. You got all these ads all over it. Ricky Bobby, hey driver, get a load of these. Don't you lay that hate at me, Ricky Bobby. But yeah, I just want to say that, well, I think it's Disney canon and the Disney effect, the Disney Plus shows, I believe. It's like the Force is really overpowered right now. I didn't have that feeling that the Force was this overpowered when I was a kid or even as a young adult. I mean, this is really, maybe it started with Knights of the Old Republic. And that was in like, or the Old Republic games as well. Because they're like the Force users in 4,000 years in the past in Revan's time, they had some really powerful Force powers. But depending on like my personal canon, like it's closer to the old G canon. It's just movies, the novelizations, the screenplays, Rinsler stuff. If the Force wasn't that powerful, that you didn't have, like Palpatine wasn't able to, electrocute an entire fleet of rebel ships as he did in The Rise of Skywalker, or that Darth Vader was able to pull, use the Force to pull a ship in pursuit, I guess, another star ship, use the Force. I get interdictors, star destroyers, yes, but using the Force, I'd like to, that's a D+ show thing. I don't think that's how the Force. That's not what how the Force works. To quote Han Solo in The Force Awakens. Overall, I'm pleased with this. I read the credits on issue 4. I'm going to pass on it, but this has a place with issue number 1 on my spinner rack with the rest of my funny books. This is great. Hats off to Yul Carter of Fantastic Comics of Berkeley, California. He's just extolled this month after month after month, and I nibbled. Local Man number 5 of Image Comics by Tim Seeley and Daniel Fleece was supposed to be. Is it Daniel Fleece? It's Tony Fleece. Sorry, was supposed to come out yesterday. On Wednesday. It already sold out by the time I got there. So did Amazing Spider-Man number 28 as well. I heard there's a line out there. I'm going to check it out next week, maybe at 11 o'clock to see that line. Wouldn't that be cool? But I got there about 12:30. They had been open an hour and a half, and they were already sold out of Local Man number 5 and Amazing Spider-Man number 28. There you go. The proof of the pudding is on the plate. I picked up second printings of Local Man from Image Comics, and it's a flip book, and half of it's done in the style of the early 90s Image Comics, and then we turn it over and it's 20 years later, and it's or 30, it's like I don't even know how many years later it is, but it's like this guy has to go home to his hometown. It used to be a superhero, and everyone kind of hates him in a way, and it's a great unfolding story. It's ending soon. I got to catch up on issues 3, 4, and 5. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you, Yul Carter, for a great recommendation. My pick of the week is Local Man. Thank you. I heard it from him. You can hear it from me. And then you pass it on and pay it forward to somebody else. We got to wrap this up. But from the back bin, I got this. Talking about I'm going to win that Columbia 10-speed bike. Yeah, I paid too much for this. I really did. I got this home and I looked in Overstreet, and I at a 9.2. This magazine would go for a couple of dollars cheaper than what I paid for it, but at least I get the satisfaction of spending my money at my local comic book shop. Yeah, I felt I'm not hurt feelings about it. I just got to get better about negotiating price. But what do? Do I lug the Overstreet with me? I know there might be an app for that. I wonder if there is an Overstreet app. Let me know in the chat if you know, or in the comments section. Thank you so much. It's New Release Sunday. We've been talking about Star Wars comic books too. Thank you so very much. May the Force be with you. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. This is a geeky chill stream, and we hang out for a few minutes in our busy day, and we talk about comic books. So grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today, pal. Pull up a chair and join us at our very own Comics Coffee Table. Bring a snack. We like snacks. I do. And bring yourself and a stack of funny books, your recommendations, and keep this comic book shop style conversation continuing. Cheers.